He is risen. There we go. That's the one. Welcome back to Roottrees Are Dead, everybody. Golly, have I missed the taste of alcohol for me. So, I ended last episode in like a major flow of confidence. That's why. It's because I figured out who Ernie was. Ernie Jr., Ernest Madsen Jr. So then. If we know he's him, let's go ahead and figure out his wife real quick. Someone else told me that Shiva candles was a Jewish tradition to watch the corpse and make sure that they were actually dead, and not just getting Edgar Allan Poe'd. So this is Ernie's family. That's his daughter Nicole, and that's his wife. His wife's name was Debbie. So let's fill them in. Deborah Bean, I'm assuming. Let me just check if there's any other Deborahs. This has been a really fun series, but I feel like I'm ripping through it. We're probably going to be done by the end of the week. Next week, that is. Oh my gosh, I didn't even put down student K through 12 for this one. Should I do that? Okay, yeah, we'll do that. Well, hey, we've got her. And we've got her. That's almost for certain. Who else can I take now that would be like a guarantee? I don't know the middle link in this family, except that it's a woman. Well, how many unidentified next generation women are there? There might just be one. Disconnect from that thing when I'm not using it. No telling who's on the nodes. There must be things on the computer I need to find. And that might mean a lot of cold searching. Which it sounds like is, to an extent, intended gameplay. So maybe I will go back to that. I'd like to know a little more about Jim's Roottrees' dad. That'd be helpful. Maybe Miracle's kids, actually. Here's the issue. No one mentions that Miracle Jr. had a sibling. And I really don't know who that is. A sibling who married and then went on to have another kid. History of Print Advertising website claims to have a 5 pieces advertisement scanned from a book called The Sweet History of Candy, Volume 2. What could this teach me? This is part of a book series about all things candy in the modern world. It starts in 1925 and continues onward to chronicle the rise of mass production and global distribution. The book ends with a look into the future of candy, as envisioned by experts in 1985. With the addition of hindsight, you can clearly see they got pretty much everything wrong. It includes some print advertisements. You find a newspaper ad for 5 pieces from the 30s. So is this going to have the original flavors on it? Which hardly helps me anymore. Grape, elderberry, cinnamon extract, melon, and miracle berry. What are they going to say about miracle berry? Nothing? No. Alright, I'll let you guys have a little saxophone this episode. I'll loosen up. When in doubt, Lauren's diary. There is so much information in her diary. Hey, here's something interesting. Lauren says about Gwen, she's the first Roottree woman to be anything other than a housewife, and I am jealous. Does that mean that all Gen 1 Roottree women were housewives? Because I previously did not put that down. Well, what the hell? Gwendolyn's not a housewife. Dude, did I mix up these photos? Fucking H! How many photos did I mix up off of phenotype impressions? This is miserable. How have I done this? We've just knocked out the 2 youngest children and some of the 2 oldest women. Okay, so let's clarify things then. She's in stone. That's 1 out of 3 right there. That is 100% correct. We don't know her husband's name, although he's non-essential. But I'd still like to know. Still don't know a damn thing about Miracle. I want to learn about Lauren's brothers. There's a lot that I can learn from them. So really, I'm just going to go back to reading Lauren's biography for the 10th time. Lauren might be my favorite Rootree. Maybe just because I get to know her so well. She's so real. Alright. Sam. How about this Sam, then? Yeah, we read about this Sam a long time ago. Sam is an obscure relative of Gwyneth. What's going to happen if I search for Sam Anderson in the Butler County Times? Nothing. But just Anderson. Anderson Farm. Anderson Farm. The Butler County Times has had consistent ads for tours and demonstrations of the first Anderson maple farm for a very long time. The farm also appears every so often in a section about things to do in Butler County. It seems that twice each summer, the Roottrees Candy Company's current head of farming, Mrs. Casserole, returns to Butler County to demonstrate how 5 pieces were made at the beginning of the century. The demonstration provides free samples of the original 5 flavors. Holy shit, I've been driving for like 4 hours today, and my brain is melted. I can't read anything. They cost quite a lot to attend and sell out every time, so the Butler County Times recommends getting tickets the moment they go on sale. The ads and blurbs do not, however, have any other relevant information. You do learn that the farm offers discounts on Tuesdays. Was any of it relevant information? Mrs. Catterall, maybe? Well, she does show up. No, it's the same thing. Just because she was a keyword in the article. Alright, well, I could try the World Wide Web. I'm led to believe that Sam might have been a fake name. Wait. Shut that shit off. I didn't recognize Sam at Uncle Junior's wedding to Patsy last year. Uncle Junior. Okay, so maybe there's a photo of that somewhere. First, let's just go ahead and put down, where's Elias Jr.? Married a lady named Patsy. Oh, but it's too soon to say which one. It's probably a Patricia. Clancy swore he saw Sam working alongside the farmhands, E.C. and John, when he used to drive past the old Anderson farm on his way to work. Upon hearing that, Zach checked the records and managed to confirm all 3 are on the books. Eli, Miracle's youngest, not my brother. That's who the Eli is. The one with the coat on. He's a mechanic. That's why he stands next to Miracle Jr. It's weird that he would name the second-born Eli. He must feel pretty scorned. Poor dude. Alright, well, we can put some more names in then. That is Eli. He's probably this one. Elias M. Roottrees. And he was a mechanic by the look of his uniform. Did it say... Here, there's the woman standing next to him who he probably married. Who doesn't seem very keen on knowing him. Is Sam a guy? Why have I been assuming that Sam is short for Samantha? Sam's relation to the family is, quote, complicated. Well, there's definitely a scandal there. Do you know what? This is Sam, isn't it? Although, that guy looks like he's wearing a fake beard, which I'm not 100% why. But I think that's Sam back there. And let's just do a little extrapolation. Sam is probably... What does this mean? The line being split like that. 2 names that must be typed manually are beneath the top secret. One of them must be Sam. What is to be inferred here? That there's a disgraced sibling? Maybe a bastard kid? That's all I can think is a bastard child. But it must have something to do with the Hunchtop house. Maybe I should include that in my searches. Because we're looking at the son of Elias, and Elias was affiliated with the Hunchtop house, and that's been a great big mystery so far. Maybe, what are the popular reasons that, like, someone was blotted from the family tree in the past? Like, for being mentally ill, or like, even kind of slow? I'm thinking of, like, the Kennedys here. Maybe this is, like, a Jackie Kennedy situation. Yeah, maybe, like, Elias had a kid who was deformed in some way. Probably a mental deformity, because whoever I'm looking at in this photo, I mean, is visually passing as able-bodied. Nie знаю. Sam gave him some old tools and taught him how to make the bike's engine faster. Let's go back to keeping notes about Sam. Eli seemed pretty cool. Seemed like he wasn't into the whole doing what his dad wanted him to do thing, and instead just became a mechanic and dropped out of high school. Musicians and artists and dancers. We haven't actually identified a dancer yet. Was Gwendolyn Morden a dancer? Is that who we're talking about? And I never actually put a photo down for her. No, I think she was this one. Maybe not. Let's take that photo out. And who is this little girl, too? I might be crazy, but she looks like she's mixed white-black because of her hair. On the back of the photo in childish printing, it says November. The only one who has any discipline is Carl, but that's because Pop forced Clancy to send him to the academy. I'm sorry, she just referred to Pop and Clancy as 2 different people. What the hell? What the hell? Who is who now? I thought Clancy was Pop. Is Pop the grandpa? Elias? The first Elias? Oh shit, you know what? I still have to do that, Elias, don't I? Someone told me that there was an Elias that I was not noticing for some reason. Yep, there is just an Elias root tree. Funny how that works. Did I get anyone helpful off of that? Locked in the 5 pieces. Locked in everyone on the notable Roottrees list. So yeah, we have Elias, and we have Gwendolyn. No lore updates there. I only need 6 more, though. I feel like I haven't fully harnessed the power of identifying Ernie Madsen Jr. I think that she's Gwyneth Madsen. And she's probably... Let's just say a dancer, because we know that someone in the Free Spirits is a dancer. Maybe this is her daughter? Don't know who the father is. Were there any other Madsens who have not been accounted for? No, of course not. So, whichever last name this is, there will be exactly 2 of them. One for the father and one for the father's one child. Which last names have only appeared twice? There's 4 Wilsons. A Tessa Green Penelope. 1 Wilkins. 1 Quaritch. 1 remaining Monroe. 1 remaining Madsen. 3 Kellogg's. 2 Cattralls. We heard of a Mrs. Cattrall just recently on the farm thing. I don't think that would be this, but... a Sam Cattrall. Could Mrs. Cattrall be the Sam that we heard about, the motorcycle person, who they were very, very intentionally obscuring the pronouns of? Samantha Cattrall, maybe? Current head of farming, Mrs. Cattrall. Are we going for, like, the whole chick in disguise as a dude thing? With the guy in the back of this photo who has a beard that very clearly does not match the rest of his hair? Like, is this supposed to be Samantha Cattrall right here? Who's posing as a man so that she can get ahead back in the day? Maybe? Maybe? I don't know. I have no fucking idea what's going on here. You know what? No. Well, why are there... Maybe it's just a coincidence that there's a Mrs. Cattrall who's connected in some way. But being that there is a Sam Cattrall... Oh, wait, it tells me that's a man. That is a man named Sam Cattrall. And I'm gonna say that Sam Cattrall must... I mean, let's just confirm it real quick. I think he must be the father of this child, because there are only 2 Cattralls in the whole thing. So the dad is Sam Cattrall, and then this must be Stephanie Cattrall. And she is a student K through 12. I have no reason to believe she's a dancer. I just really put that there. Maybe I can find out about Gwyneth Madsen on my pewter. My brothers all seem to pursue paths of knowledge, and the most rebellious thing any of us ever did was bring home someone who would be illegal to marry if we lived anywhere south of Pennsylvania. So this is implying, like, segregation laws. But I don't think that any of them actually ever married a black woman. I don't know, let me have a good look. Let me just really, really hone in my eyes real quick. These people all look markedly white, except for this one little girl right here, who is... It looks mixed to me. I don't know. And she's not talking about that generation, though. She's talking about these people. And they're all even whiter. I don't know who this young feller is. You know what? It must be, one of these must be Lauren. And then... some degree that must be her brothers. I mean, it's probably a safe bet that this is the youngest of Lauren's brothers, simply by virtue of him being notably, like, adolescent in that photo. In fact, let's just try to put some faces down on that principle. Going off the hairline, this one is the oldest, and then second oldest. Although he's got a widow's peak and he doesn't. Isn't that one of those things that's really hard to get rid of genetically? Like, I feel like the widow's peak is very predominant in the alleles. Maybe I'm completely deluded. Pop seems to have gotten over it, because Edward is set to take over his department once he retires. Pop seems to have gotten over it. So they're talking about the supposedly dating a black lady thing. Pop seems to have gotten over it, who I guess is fucking Grandpa now, because Pop and Clancy are 2 different people according to this. Edward is set to take over his department. So one of them is Edward, and Edward is a lawyer. Alright, let's try this on for size. This guy looks lawyerly. You are Edward Roottrees, and you are a lawyer. So we'll roll with that for a bit. I'm gonna say this piece of shit right here, this guy's a screenwriter. And we're gonna say he's Ronald Roottrees, or Robert Roottrees. Maybe the thing he tried to sue over was stealing intellectual property. No, because he's the older one, so he would not have the alliterative name. Still, I'll do screenwriter. You know, let me check. Did Bill Forsyth have anything to say that was indicative of what they had named the first kid? I almost wonder if he's Wolf Roottrees. My father decided to bless me with a famous name. There's nothing wrong with Cornwall, but Rootree has power. So, I don't know if we put that down. Margolites married a Cornwall. Linus Cornwall. We have a new child on the way, and we're sticking with Rootree for the last name. Not Williams. So, is there another Williams? Is he a Williams? This kid right here? No, there are no other Williams. Well, someone's named Wolf Rootree, and I'm guessing it's him, because his fucking cowboy dad would have named him that. Okay, maybe you're Edward. Let's just try that on for size real quick. No, this has taught me nothing. They're all lawyers. I think it's time to start some cold searches, man. Just show me names. Let's find notable Roottrees that we didn't even know about. Little is known about Ernest. The Batter Up Bar. Tell me about that one. Failed candy bar released by Rootree Company. Launched with great fanfare in 1980, it was meant to evoke the classic combination of pancakes and maple syrup. The name came from the fact that its recipe used a creamy imitation of pancake batter as its filling, and the packaging had baseball imagery. Consumers loved the taste, and the candy launched to stellar reviews, but after a little less than a month on the shelf, it was discovered that the filling of unopened bars began to separate and developed an off-putting texture described as powdery chunks floating in oily goop. This odd consistency made it the punchline of late-night jokes for weeks, solidifying its reputation as a failure. That's very sad for the Batter Up Bar. Thomas Sheridan, we haven't looked into him in a while. Time marches onward. Show's been on air for 22 years, focuses on 3 large families that own different ranches in the same town. This is a lot to write about a supposedly throwaway TV show. Carson, in 53 episodes before his character went away to camp. A few episodes later, his parents learned of his off-screen death in a terrible whitewater rafting accident. What the hell? 6-year absence, Carson returned, now with partial amnesia. He recalled that he was saved from the river. The couple who found him were evil drug runners. They smuggled him across the Mexican border and sold him into child labor. After he managed to escape, he couldn't remember who he was. Eventually found... What the fuck is any of this? Is there anything important here? Worked in the silver mines, plastic surgery. Was then killed permanently this time while saving his younger sister from drowning in a whitewater rafting accident that happened at the same river where his initial accident took place. Funny how that happens. None of this seems related to the Roottrees. Thank you. Maybe lead with that next time. Brother Trouble was the other thing he was doing. ...1989 sitcom, so it's Step Brothers. Their single mother, played by stand-up Penelope Tessa Green. She's in the family tree, isn't she? I just read her weird-ass, long hyphenated name. Alright, who are you? Printing Joke-O-Lantern. Retired comedian. There's a result for the Laugh Lounge, a club in Reno that claims Penelope got her stand-up and first did her famously raunchy breast milk cheese routine in the 80s before she was a TV star in Brother Trouble. That's great. This site claims she retired for the birth of her first child, but still makes yearly appearances for fundraisers, doing more family-friendly material. You find a picture labeled Joke-O-Lantern, 1997, as well as a different picture labeled Jack watching one of his mother's charity sets, 94. Both have been added to evidence. How do you factor into this, Tessa Green? I don't think I've seen her face anywhere. I'm assuming she marries into the family somewhere in this tree. But she just happened to be... Wait, the showrunner was a small screen director named Ron Rootree. There's another link. Strong ratings for entirety season 1. Canceled in 1991. Okay, let's put down real quick. Let's be way down here, I think. Gen 5. No, Gen 4 probably. Alright, tell me about this Ron Roottrees. A director, eh? Ronald Roottrees! This is coming together. Small screen director and the head of RR Productions, he directed episodes of a few other shows before showrunning and creating a one-season hit, Brother Trouble. Creating a season hit called Brother Trouble? Could he have been basing it off of himself, maybe? I'm fairly certain that you are Ronald Roottrees, and you are a director. Of this I am certain. Unless you are the director named Ronald Roottrees. And your name is Ronald Roottrees. It's one of yous! I'm convinced it's him. This one's in stone. But he never married. Ronald Roottrees doesn't come up with anything. But Ron Roottrees does. That's so intentional. I hate you for that. Maybe Ron Roottrees shows up in Starlet? He does not. Punch Top House seems unrelated to the Roottrees, it tells me. I find that hard to believe. Although maybe that's just true. Alright, I've just edited and caught a couple of more things. For one, most recently, we did not try searching RR Productions, which was the name of the studio that Ronald was in charge of. That did show up. Defunct production company responsible for Brother Trouble. You find a comment on a Usenet board stating that Brother Trouble ended up being an ironic name, considering the rumors about RR Productions, Ron and Robbie Roottrees. Well, isn't that damn interesting? They've just confirmed for us that both of Gwyn's kids do have alliterative names. But something ain't right here. Unless Gwyn was just that much of a fucking airhead. I think Gwyn had a third kid that they're not telling us about. Because she said, my next son's going to have an alliterative name, he's keeping a Roottrees. So unless this first son changed his name... Yeah. Either he changed his name, or Gwyn had a third kid that they're not telling us about. Son of Walter Forsythe. And that this would maybe explain the weird red box. Okay, well anyways, we don't know. This is Robert Roottrees. I don't know. I'm gonna assume he's a screenwriter, honestly. Hang on, I don't want to blow things out of the water real quick yet. I bet what this is about is that, trying to piece it together in my head. The problem that the brothers had, it's gotta be Tessa Penelope Green. I bet that they must have met her on the set of that one show. And she probably had a fling with one or the and then married the other. So let's say that Tessa is the spouse here that's married to the older brother. And there's a Tessa Roottrees. She's probably unrelated. And just to be sure, let's throw in that photo of her, because we just got that from the Joke-a-lantern thing. And then this would also be one of the kids. Can I not photograph the baby? I guess not. Oh no, I can. Just was a weird hitbox. Had to click on his ear. And there was another picture too. That little scupper. Captioned, Jack watching one of his mother's charity sets, 1994. So let's assume that Jack is the firstborn son of hers. Let's color the waters here and see if this is detected. as the same guy. Your occupation is baby. No. Perhaps your occupation is student, K through 12. Maybe. Who knows, really? Alright, let's go ahead and just do this. I'm gonna say Ronald is the older. He's the director. Let's throw her photo in here. No? Well, then it's really just a toss-up. He must be Robert. Damn it. Alright, I'll bet that one was the director and the other was probably the screenwriter. Probably how this dynamic duo came to be. Except we know that Ronald, of the two, Ronald was the one who was billed as the director, so I can't contradict myself there. Not so shrimple, is it? Alright, well, we know the names of these two boys, and that's good. We know that Tessa Green Penelope factors into this. Is there anything else I could have learned about her? Let me check the history. Laugh Lounge, maybe? No, that just brings me to the same page. Retired for the birth of her first child, still makes yearly appearances for fundraisers, doing family-friendly material. Alright, I'll bite. Is this one, Jack? Ugh. That one's tricky. Alright, well, here's something else that I noticed. The reason that I found out about Eli, Miracle Jr.'s brother, is because Lauren clarified that it was Miracle Jr.'s brother, or Miracle's other kid, and not her brother. So the other Elias that's not been placed yet is one of Lauren's brothers. Now, that means it's Elias C. Maybe this one was Elias C. I mean, that's not really going to help me. Anyway. She said that they all went on to have scholarly pursuits. What were the other scholarly pursuits that there could have been? Politics. Professor. This guy's got a professor look to him. I'd buy that. We know that the one named Edward was going to take over for Pop's department. Still don't know for a damn second who Pops is. Don't know what this guy did. And you know what, I do think that there's a picture elimination I can make at the very least, which is that if we look at the picture of the new generation, these three together, this is probably Lauren. I'm just not used to seeing her smile because her life is all like pouty and miserable, which means that this third lady is the Roottrees girl that I was yet to identify. So first, let's go ahead and put that down as an additional Lauren photo, just so it can get confirmed next time we have a trio. And then we know that this right here is the lady who married Ernie Madsen. But what am I to know about her? Don't rightly know her name. This guy's way older, like 100% he's the oldest. But I am baffled as to why it's not clicking. What could the box mean? Could the box mean that they were both married to her at one time or another? Could that be the brother trouble? You go back to being Robert. Fucking screenwriter. Oh. Wait, I did something. Who did I get? Oh. Tessa Green Penelope's in. Sam Cattrall's in. Oh, that was pretty big, actually. Show me everyone I just got in. Okay, so we got that photo of Lauren in. That's great. Tessa Green is in. That's good. Sam Cattrall is huge, actually. Because that confirms that the daughter is Stephanie. I must just have the wrong occupation down for her. Or something. Okay. So yeah, I basically just finished that whole bit of the family tree there. Except that they had a second kid who we don't know about yet. What could the red box mean? So yeah, they met on the set. Tessa Green Penelope was probably the source of the brother trouble. Okay, show me Sam Cattrall. Where was that? We should find out about Jane LaRue's kids. There's probably more to be learned about her still. Stephanie Cattrall. So wait, let's look at the years. This could be an old photo. In fact, I know it's an old photo. Maybe she's a college student now. We'll roll with that for a bit. Ooh. The Mordens. There's lots about the Mordens I don't yet know. Well, hey, 3 more and we get another lore checkpoint. So I'll see if I can't hit that in this sitting. All I need to do is take out these 3 brothers, but that could be an undertaking. As seen in MMM, only the great-grandson of Elias Roottrees can make disco this sweet. Peter Janowicz. I read that name before. Polish name. Can you tell me about him, computer? Seemed to be a music critic. You find him mentioned on a fan website about a band unrelated to the Roottrees. He used to work for Modern Music Monthly before the magazine went under. Alright, let's go back to Diamond LaRue. She had a kid, I think, that we need to learn about more. Diamond's Dazzlers. Printing Wolf. Oh shit, we just learned some stuff. Diamond's Dazzlers is the name of the official fan club for Jim and Diamond. You find a forum post called Cool Things You Got on the Mail on a random forum about video games. One reply mentions that Jim and Diamond still send out a Christmas card every year to Diamond's Dazzlers. It's accompanied by some pictures as well as some history about the fan club. Apparently, even though it is no longer available to join, Jim and Diamond still honor it themselves personally. There is a fierce debate in the subsequent posts about whether it's cool or pathetic. Amongst the pictures of Christmas cards from over the years, only one is relevant. The card from 1996 includes pictures of Jim and Diamond's young son Wolf as a note about his daughter's band, the Floozies. There's another lead to follow. Jim and Diamond's young son Wolf. Okay. Let's go ahead and clock him in real quick. Young son. 96. He's probably the younger of 2 children. What's this picture that I got? Shit, I don't know. Young is one way of putting it. He seems like he could be a little older. Try him in the spot. Ah, who am I kidding? It's probably the younger son. That's why they said that. Wolf Roottrees has been eliminated. And this guy's probably, we'll say K through 12, but possibly college student. I'll say K through 12. Alright, the Floozies. Tell me about them. And his daughter's band, the Floozies. So the daughter's probably the older. And his daughter is named... Give me a name. I want a name. Fuck you, give me a name. All-female punk band, my favorite. Operating out of New York City. They mentioned in passing in an online review from earlier this year. Apparently they were the opening act for the band the reviewer actually came to see. The reviewer writes that she normally doesn't review the opening act, but this one was unusual. Not because of the music, which she described as loud, fast, and repetitive, but not in the good way. The trio was extremely cagey about their identities. The reviewer asked the venue who they were, and she was told they were rumored to be the children of other famous musicians and didn't want that to be why they became popular. Okay, this makes sense. The reviewer also mentioned that for an underground and unknown band with absolutely no following, their equipment was all extremely expensive, and not only were they selling CDs, but they only cost $1. They probably were losing a fortune. The reviewer said although she bought a copy, she would be unlikely to ever listen to any of it again, except maybe Beef Baby, the 7th track. There is no picture of the Floozies performing live, but the cover from the CD they were selling, Conquistador, has been added to your evidence. Dude, that's kind of, like, really sad, to be honestly. I can't even lie. Like, it's... There's something just so sad about the idea of, oh, you wanted to, like, make a name for yourself and shit, but you're already related to someone wildly famous, so you'll probably never get out of their shadow. Sad shit. Alright, come here, Floozy. Here, it actually just said on there what she was. She's got the guitar. Guitar is Candy. Well, Candy is probably not her real name, I'm guessing. Although her brother's name is Wolf, so... fuck it, her name is Candy. Musician. Okay, so I had 3 in that I was feeling kind of confident about, and I didn't get it, so something must be wrong. Wolf is not a college student. Have I maybe got the wrong photo? Trawl. Okay, maybe he's a K-12 student. Whatever. Candy Roottrees, like, definitely in. She's confirmed. This is definitely Clancy's, or Carl's dad. But I don't know if we've learned anything about who his dad was. There's a Clancy Jr. that I haven't put to use yet. That's probably this guy. He looks... well, hang on. Yes, that's Clancy. So Clancy Jr. must be like that dude. Are you sure you're not a lawyer, sir? Okay, maybe he's the lawyer. I don't know a damn thing. Okay, you're not in college. You're not in college. Trust me, kid. Yeah, I can find out about her on the World Wide Web. Actually, let's search for Beef Baby real quick. Beef Baby is a song by the Floozies. You can't actually find anything else about it anywhere. With a name like that, it's hard not to speculate on the subject matter. Euphemism, newborn cow, holding a grudge against a toddler. Okay, yep. Did I miss anything else in here? No. Okay. Stephanie Cattrall. She didn't go on to do anything. I see Samantha Cattrall. How about I just do Cattrall? There's the periodicals, of course, too. Well, we're dangerously close to hitting that lore breakthrough. It's gonna happen any second now. So who do I want to take the biggest leap on right now? Okay, here's a little piece of context clue. Elias's spouse does not have any photos available to put down of her, which means that the woman who looks like she has a bruise on her face next to Elias can't actually be his wife because there's no option to put a photo down for her. So where are there unpictured women of this generation? No, of the free spirits. That's right, because all out of whack because Miracle was so young. So this girl is going to be someone here. She's too old to be his daughter. It's really not easy to say. Suppose it could be her. Damn it. I still have a lot of undiscovered things about the Madsons. Are you an interior designer? Are you a nurse? Be honest with me, are you a nurse? Are you a public speaker? Do you work in retail? Are you a secretary? Alright, enough of that. Give me one more name and then I can go to bed. I should try to figure out which Roottrees is the lady who's at my door. She sounds like she would be blonde. She also sounds like she would be of the next generation, maybe. Maybe she's Lauren. That'd be cool. But I don't think Lauren would be so invested in this sort of thing. I don't know who that guy is in the back. He's probably this weirdo who never married. Wait, there should be a photo of Clark in there, shouldn't there? Which one of you freaks is Clark? Is that Clark? That actually might be Clark. We'll try it. Where he lost his hair. Jane LaRue, she's who I actually meant to search about. Jane Del Vecchio is listed on a talent for hire site as a wedding singer. Way down in the credentials section of her biography, it mentions she got her start as a young girl when she was Jane LaRue of the Lucky LaRues. Also mentions to only contact her agent in the event that you actually wish to hire her, and that any and all inquiries about her past or her sister would be ignored. Del Vecchio. So, Del Vecchio's not a name that comes up. But she had a kid with Clark. A few fan sites for the band, Jim and Diamond, seem to mention that he used to make music with Clark Rafferty. They mention an album called These Times. There's another print. Band called yeah, that one. Someone with the username Die Hard Dazzler scanned the cover and noted that it cost him over $200 at auction. This was Jim and Roottrees and Diamond LaRue's first song together. He also mentions it was performed with Jim's cousin and Diamond's sister, and that it was only something somewhat similar to Jim and Diamond's later works. Can't find anything else about XXX, Die Hard Dazzler, XXX, the band or the single. All you have to do is add the scan to your evidence. After a blazing fast 35-minute download, the track is also available. Wow. Okay, we'll throw these in, see if it's who we thought. I am displeased with how many young people are not bending to my will here. You know what? This is probably not Stephanie Catterall. This must be the very youngest girl of this generation. Because otherwise they wouldn't let her in. This is the child of Eli, I'm assuming. Okay, well that means I still need to find a photo of whoever this girl's kid was. The young generation never got together and took photos, is the thing. Maybe I can still get this girl, though. We know that she's probably a student K through 12. And she's gonna have Roottree for a name. How many unclaimed Roottrees women are left? Christina with a K. November. There's one named November? So that's her. Probably. Would she be in college by now? No? I didn't realize that there was a November Rootree. If it says November on the back in the childish handwriting like we were told... This is 70, so she's definitely not a child anymore. We just gotta figure out her occupation. Perhaps... Actually, why did I think it was his? I don't actually think that this is Eli's kid. I think that this is the child of the youngest brother of Lauren, because if my racial profiling is correct, then that means that when Lauren said that frickin' someone brought home someone who was going to take over, someone that would not have been legal in the South, and then it was Edward, she then later said, this fella right here must have married a black lady. And this would still work with the timeline because he's the youngest brother. So that would make him Edward, and that would make him a lawyer too. Yes, that was right! So we have November in place. Hooray for racial profiling! Okay, alright, enough of that. Okay, and it was the other two gimmies. What photos did we get? That was Clark. Alright. Alright, I'm good for it. Give me the lore. Are you Lauren?
On the phone, I said I owed you an explanation. But I can't reveal everything. Not yet.
She's not Lauren. I bet she's one of the LaRues who got screwed over.
I'm sure this all seems like deception for deception's sake. So I'll try to explain why. It's true, I'm working with lawyers. But not the candy company lawyers. My publisher's lawyers.
Are you actually Lauren?
I'm on the verge of releasing a book, and it's not kind to the Roottrees. Especially Elias and the Five Pieces. The truth often isn't.
No way.
But with the plane crash, the publisher is rightfully worried it'll look like I'm making things up to exploit a tragedy. So they're doing their due diligence. That's why you're here. To be sure there's enough evidence for an expert to unearth the whole story.
They're doing their due diligence, that's why you're here.
If I tell you the whole story now, we can't prove that. I hope you understand. That said, I can say that the work you're doing is very personal to me.
So, she already knows everything, but she needs us to come to the conclusion to prove that she didn't make it up. Kinda weird.
To my story, one spot on the tree is more important than the rest. You've likely noticed it. It's locked for now. I'll return one final time, after you fill it in.
We fill it in.
Also, there are fewer Roottrees left. In a sense, that makes it easier. Use process of elimination.
The game did it. The game just did it. The game just gave me permission to brute force it.
It's also harder to verify when you're right. You'll need 4 blood relatives before they lock from here on out. I don't have any more evidence for you, but trust your intuition. If something has a high number, it's not a mistake. You're getting closer,
I'm not using that mechanic.
Closer to the truth. I look forward to seeing you soon.
Alright. I honestly should go to bed, but like I don't wanna throw away the discoveries we just had. So if this is Roottree Jr. Then another one is Elias C, and the other one is Clancy Jr. Very, very good. Now, you are a November Roottrie. Still don't really know what you do. Maybe she's a college student now. Oh, it hardly matters. How about women with a one-off last name who never have that name show up again? Show me all the females. Why do I have a Chris Rafferty that's not confirmed? Oh, well, that must be this. Hooray. Process of elimination. You're someone named Chris Rafferty. I don't know if that's a guy or a girl, though. Perhaps my pewter can tell me. No. Whatever, that's not too urgent. Alright. So again, let's look for women who only appear once. There's a Catherine Wilkins. Okay. April Quaritch. Joan Monroe. Okay, there's like 3, 4. Helen Lennon. So it's really too soon to say on any of those. The Kellogg's are prominent. There's 3 of them. A Bethany. Where is a woman who ended up having a number of kids? I think Bonnie must have married Kellogg the third. And then she probably had the 2 Kellogg kids. We'll just put in David Kellogg III there, so that the next time we get a confirmation, if that's locked in, then we know that these kids are Kellogg's. Alright, I'm going to bed for real this time. I'll pick this up in the morning.